Hello, this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing Another World for the PS4. Another World, or Out of This World in North America, is a platform action-adventure game with a cinematic presentation that originally released in 1991. The game was designed by Eric Chahi. Another World tells the story of Lester, a scientist who accidentally transports himself to a strange alien world and has to survive all sorts of precarious situations. The game doesn't have any in-game speech or narration, so the story is told via the action, cutscenes and interactions between Lester and the alien friend he makes in the prologue. At the time of release, this was a cutting-edge game that set a whole new standard for these types of games. So what is the game like to play? Well, the controls, they're fairly simple. You can run, kick, jump, climb and shoot. The game world is varied and interesting with facilities, sacred sites and caves to name a few of the areas. The level design is very intelligent throughout and you really have to think about your next move. Saying that, you're going to die an awful lot because the first time you enter a new area, it's almost guaranteed you're going to die. Because the game throws things at you you just can't see coming. Once you finish the early game, you do get access to guns, so that means you can shoot, and the gun is very useful. You can create a barrier field that will protect you for a short period of time. You can also supercharge the gun and shoot through these little walls to progress. There are lots of enemies and threats to your life in Another World, and these include enemy soldiers, large wild creatures, black slugs that kill you with one hit, spike pits, and water, obviously, because no one can swim in old computer games. But for me, the key aspect of Another World is the friendship Lester sparks up with the alien at the start of the game. You're both in prison and you escape, and through the game you help each other and your bond really grows and grows. It's a bit like another game I loved called Ico, where there isn't any dialogue, but all the interactions, cutscenes and just little bits of gameplay just help develop the relationship between these two characters and these two new friends. Graphically, the game has had a remaster and the game looks smooth and vibrant. You also have an option to switch the graphics from the remaster to the original at the touch of a button, so you can really see the progress they've made. I mean, it's still not like high end, but they've just smoothed all the textures out. The music is excellent and it's a strong sci-fi tone with some synth influence. When it came out, it really did, for me, it raised the bar in terms of in-game music, because in computer game music was kind of pretty kind of twee and cutesy, and the music in this was a lot more mature and just really beautifully scored, and it really changed the standards. Okay, so what's good and what's bad? What's good? Despite its age, it's still a very enjoyable and challenging game. The art style, music and cinematic presentation are excellent. The relationship Lester forms with his new alien buddy gives the game more resonance, and it's just a fine example of a platform game with very good puzzles and good combat. What's bad? It may be a bit difficult for modern gamers because you die an awful lot without much warning. It's a hard game and you will have to play it a lot to get to the end. It's unforgiving and the checkpoints, they're not very frequent, and quite often you'll do a very difficult section, die after it and you're like, oh okay, at least I did that bit, and then it will send you back before the hard section, so be ready to be trolled a bit. Okay, so what's the verdict? Well, Another World, when I first played it, I was like, wow, what is this? Because it was in the 90s, it was early days for gaming, and it just was something that had very clever game mechanics. It was doing things that games today are doing, like way back then, and visually it looked good. The way it was presented, the cinematic style, the sound effects, the music, you know, just the way their gun had all this variation, and the relationship between the characters is such a good game, and the game hasn't really aged. So my score for Another World is 9 out of 10. Okay, that was the review. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.